May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you be at peace. Amen.
Welcome everyone to our second year of virtual VBS. It is so wonderful that we can continue to learn about God over our summer vacation, wherever we are, near or far, on a sunny day or a rainy day. It's good for us to continue to think about how we are God's children. This year, we are headed back to Compassion Camp, but we are going to think about the idea of changing the world through loving kindness. Now, the word loving kindness, many people have said to me already, isn't that two words, not one, Sarah? But in the Bible, there's an idea that loving kindness is something that we mush together, and it creates this big, powerful thing, something that can change the world in so many good ways. So we're going to think about what it means to show loving kindness in our world today. Now, as we prepare and get ready to explore the idea of loving kindness, I want us to embrace the power. So we are going to stand and we are going to get ready by going loving kindness. Loving kindness. Ready? Do it with me one more time. And hold that pose big and strong, just like Superman. Loving kindness. Loving kindness. Hopefully, you are starting to feel excited and powerful to use this idea of loving kindness. Now, as we begin to think about what loving kindness is, we have to start with the idea of compassion. Those of you who maybe watched and tuned into with us to Compassion Camp last year know that we thought about that a lot. But at its basic, having compassion means I see your hurt, or sometimes hear it, or think it. I feel your hurt, and I help your hurt. That is how we show compassion. I see your hurt, I feel your hurt, I help your hurt. Now, when we have compassion, it means we are paying attention to all those around us. We know that sometimes we feel the same feelings that they do, and we want to reach out and help. And doing that through loving kindness is one way. Now, using loving kindness can be kind of bold and risky, and it can involve change. But it's something that we all have to prepare and get ready for. Today, as we think about loving kindness, I would like to share a story with you about a girl named Miriam in the Bible and her baby brother named Moses. So as we hear the story, I invite you to practice paying attention for compassion and to practice recognizing emotion by also doing different actions with me from the story. So let's hear about Miriam. Aram and Jochebed from the tribe of Levi got married and had children. Jochebed gave birth to a baby boy. She knew he was special from the moment she saw him. But she worried for him. The most powerful man around, whose name was Pharaoh, had threatened those Hebrew baby boys. And she wanted to protect her son. So she kept him hidden away for a whole 3 months. When she couldn't hide him anymore, she made a basket for him from the grasses nearby. She sealed up all the holes so the water couldn't get in. And she cradled her baby boy inside of it and placed the basket at the edge of the river. His older sister Miriam watched all of this happening from a little ways off, wondering, what would happen to him? She kept an eye out for her baby brother. Then Pharaoh's daughter came out to the river to take a bath. The woman who came with her, women who worked in her service, walked around nearby. Pharaoh's daughter saw this basket nestled into the reeds at the edge of the water, and she asked, one of the women to bring it to her. Pharaoh's daughter opened the basket and saw this little boy who had tears running down his cheeks. Her heart burst open for him. She told the woman with her he must belong to a Hebrew family. Miriam popped in then, asking Pharaoh's daughter, "Do you want me to find someone to help you nurse him?" Pharaoh's daughter agreed, and the baby's sister went and brought their mother to Pharaoh's daughter. She passed the baby into the mother's care, saying, "Nurse the child for me, and I'll pay you for your work." Jochebed received her son back for a time, and when he'd grown, she brought him back to the Pharaoh's daughter, who took him as her own. Pharaoh's daughter named the boy Moses, which meant drawn out. And about his name, she told the story, "I drew him out of the water." This is our story today for the people today. Now I invite you all to grab your coloring sheet. Looks like this. And grab some crayons or markers, whatever you have, and take a moment to wonder and imagine about this story with me. As you color, I wonder what comes to mind when you look at this illustration. When you look at the coloring page, what does your attention go to? Maybe it goes to Miriam over here, who's watching out for her baby brother. Maybe it goes to baby Moses, or his mom who's crying. Maybe it goes to something else. What do you notice at first? What does the attention of the people in the illustration seem to be going to? What are they all focused on? Or who are they all focused on? And if you were somewhere in this scene, where would you place yourself? Would you be by Miriam? Would you be by Pharaoh's daughter? Would you be in the river? Why do you think you'd be there? As we think about the story and imagine together, can you list the different ways the baby in the story is cared for and protected? He seems to have a lot of people who care for and want to protect him. His mom, who sealed up that basket so the water couldn't get in and he'd be safe. Or even how she hid and tried to protect him for 3 months. Or his sister, who kept an eye out to make sure that he ended up okay and with someone. Or Pharaoh's daughter, who decided to adopt him and make him as her own son. How do you think Miriam felt as she was watching her mother make the basket for her brother and place him into it? Do you think she was fearful, sad, scared? And as she saw Pharaoh's daughter lift him out of the water, how did she feel then? What about as she returned her baby brother to their mom? I wonder, have you ever had to let go of something that was important to you? What do you remember about that? We talked about loving kindness, meaning that sometimes we had to be bold and take risks. What are some of the risks that we saw in this story? What are some risks that you've maybe taken at times in your life? And then my favorite, the moment when Pharaoh's daughter sees Moses and her bursts with joy. She just wants to help this little baby boy who's in the river and needs a home. Have you ever felt that sudden burst of joy? Maybe when you've seen a sibling for the first time, a little baby brother or sister yourself. Or maybe when you're in nature, or seeing an animal or a pet. There are many things that might make our hearts burst for joy. And lastly, what are some ways that we protect each other each and every day? What do we do to make sure that each person we know is cared for and loved and safe? I can think of a few things that we've done at our church. Donating coats so that kids have warm coats to go to school in the winter. For some of our youth made blankets to also keep people warm during the winter. Or we donate sandwiches and food to make sure everyone has a meal. A couple years ago, we also made hygiene kits full of soap and all those things that we need to keep ourselves clean during bath times. Are there other ways that we protect one another? Maybe protect each other's feelings? As we think about this idea of jumping into action to help others, to lend a hand, to maybe listen when someone just needs us to hear them, when we think about jumping into action, what does that look like for each of us? You know, I don't know about you, but when I started school, I know that some of the other kids were very nervous. And an easy way that we can show loving kindness was to go up and introduce ourselves, to let them know that someone else saw them and was happy and excited to have them join their school. Sometimes it's something as small and simple as that. But how can we be a bit like Miriam and show loving kindness to one another? Let's pray. Good and gracious God, we thank you for how you love and protect each and every one of us. We thank you for our family and friends who protect and care for each and every one of us. Help us know how to show compassion and loving kindness to others, whether it's family members or our friends, or maybe even a new person at school or at a summer camp we're going to. Help keep our eyes open and watchful to ways that we can show loving kindness. Help us over the next 5 weeks to continue to learn more about what that means for ourselves, for others, and for the world. Amen. Thank you for joining me today for this first session. And look out for videos throughout the week that'll help us continue to think about what it means to jump into action and to show loving kindness and compassion to others around us. Have a wonderful day.